Hello and welcome to Applied Psychology and our virtual open evening at Long Road Superman College. So just to start off with, my name is James Watkins. I'm one of the teachers on the course. I'm going to be taking you through some of the facts about the course, what you're going to be studying, how it's assessed, those kind of things. First of all, just to draw your attention to the name of the course. It is a BTEC in Applied Psychology, and it is different from the A-level course in psychology, which we also run here at Long Road. All right, so just to start off with, a very simple question. What is psychology? Well, basically, psychology is the study of the brain and of human behaviour. So it really is about asking questions. Why we behave in the way we do? Why do some people turn to crime but not others? Why do some people forget things and have difficulty remembering where they put stuff? All of these questions can be answered by psychology. So if that's sort of an interest to you, then psychology is probably the subject you should do. So in year one, to start off with, you're going to be doing an examined unit to begin with. Unit 1, psychological approaches and applications. I'll take you through the approaches first and then the applications. So starting off with the approaches, what are approaches? Well, approaches are basically ways of understanding human behaviour. For example, one way of understanding human behaviour is just trying to understand how we think. Looking at, for example, why someone might turn to crime, we can study their thoughts. We call this approach the cognitive approach. It's an important approach in psychology. Another approach, really important in psychology, is the learning approach. Again, if we take our theory of why someone might turn to crime, we could perhaps investigate some factors in their background. Maybe they learned something that was rewarding in some way, that was criminal. So that would be an example of the learning approach there. So it's another important approach in psychology. You're also going to be understanding the biological approach in psychology, and biology plays a major role in psychology. So we're talking about genes, genetic inheritance, brain structure, which parts of the brain do what, brain chemistry, neurotransmitters, hormones, that kind of thing. So an interest in biology is helpful if you want to do psychology, but not essential. Social psychology is another approach you'll be learning about, and this is basically sort of looking at the role of the group and its influence on us. So how our behaviour changes in the group. So, for example, why do some people conform? You see the picture there, lots of sheep. Is a good example of how that approach could be understood. Okay, so moving on to the applications part of that unit, you're going to look at 3 areas. You're going to look starting with the area of aggression. So aggression could be explained, as we mentioned earlier, in using different approaches. Could there be a biological element of why some people are aggressive? Is it a learned behaviour? And then moving on, you'll be looking at consumer behaviour, which is basically the psychology of shopping. What is it that drives people to buy certain products? Is there a way in which we can influence people's buying decisions? And then towards the end of the topic, we'll look at, towards the end of the component, we'll look at the topic of gender. So what causes someone to have different gender identities? Again, there are biological factors there are learning factors, there are social factors. Unit 2 is really an interesting unit. I mean, this is called conducting psychological research, and it basically is exactly that. You're going to design and conduct your own psychological study. So what's nice about this course is it really allows you to get your teeth into doing research. Okay, so On the right there, you can see a variety, the kind of flow chart there of the different stages of this component. So you start off by understanding why we do research, the research process as a whole, and then moving on to planning your own research. So that will involve developing your own research proposal, and then actually carrying out the pilot study that you're proposing. So collecting the data, analysing the data, drawing conclusions, writing it all up, and finally reviewing. That's pretty much year one. Year two starts off with another examined unit, health psychology. This has three sort of topics within it. The first sort of important thing to say about it is the first topic of lifestyle choice and health-related behaviour. So this area is trying to understand why people choose healthy lifestyle choices and why some people don't. So, for example, why do some people choose to smoke whereas others don't? So this is the topic that you'll be looking at then. And then we're going to look at stress, behavioural addiction and physiological addiction. These kind of two elements of the course are really important. Obviously, stress is something that affects many people. So understanding why it happens and what we can do to change that is really important. Similarly, another serious illness is addiction, and we're going to be understanding the causes of that, theories behind it, and what we can do to help people with addictive behaviours. And the last kind of component in that course is the promotion of positive behavioural change. So kind of putting it all together, what can we do to actually make people make better choices in their lifestyles? You know, this is really what this topic is about. Okay, the last unit is forensic psychology, and this is a really fascinating part of applied psychology. This is probably the bit where many of you have vested interest, because the interest in crime is so popular. Why do we turn to crime? The first thing you're going to look at is explaining criminal behaviour. Why is it people turn to crime? So there could be biological components again, but there also could be learning factors as well. So what is it? Is it nature? Is it nurture? That's really the crux of it. After we've looked at why criminal behaviour happens, we're going to look at sort of how it can be dealt with. There are a variety of punishments out there: incarceration, anger management, cognitive behavioural therapy. But which one's the most effective? Which one's the most ethical? These are questions that, as a psychologist, we need to answer. And lastly, you'll be required to design your own offender profile, having looked at several serial killers, and that's also very rewarding, of course. Assessment. This is just an overview, really. So in year one, both exams and coursework will take place. There's an exam in January, so very soon after you enroll at Long Road, you do an exam, and that's on the approaches and applications. And then after that, after the exam, we'll get started on the coursework element, which is conducting psychological research. Then we've got Unit 3, Health Psychology in Year 2. That's also examined in January, slightly larger exam there. And then Unit 4, Criminal Forensic Psychology. These are coursework elements for Year 2. Key facts about the course. Well, it's really useful to think about BTEC, Applied Psychology, in terms of how it differs from the A-level psychology, which we also run. Some key things I'd point out really are the fact that, unlike A-level, BTEC psychology offers 50% coursework, which is obviously very appealing for students, because it's not all exams. There's also less of a focus on kind of memorizing facts. It's more about applying knowledge to novel situations. Assessment is in stages, not all at the end, which most students are very happy about, so they can see their course kind of developing as they go. And unlike A-level, as I said earlier, it has great emphasis on application of theory to real world problems, so how we can solve real issues using psychology like obesity, like crime. And also unlike A-level, there's less emphasis on evaluation. BTEC also offers, as I said earlier, the opportunity to create a offender profile, which is very interesting, but also to get your teeth in, to get yourself stuck into really understanding how psychological research works by doing your own psychological investigation. At Long Road, we offer a variety of options to support if you're struggling. What we have is a thing called Subject Plus, so twice a week, one of us will be available to sit with students who are having difficulties and really help them get to the bottom of what they're not understanding in psychology. If the issue is more of an academic level, so maybe difficulty with reading at speed or difficulty managing time, then academic support is another important element of our college, and we can help you there. And also, of course, if it's just general progress, or you can always apply to your progress coach for help as well. And they're assigned to you at the start of the road. And they're generally, looking after you both academic and pastoral issues. At Long Road, we have great enrichment opportunities in applied psychology. Just want to highlight a few here. So every year we run a trip to Krakow and Auschwitz in Poland. This is a really popular trip. It's a great opportunity to visit the concentration camps from World War II there. It's obviously a very serious place, but it links really well to the course because I understand kind of social psychology there. And obviously it's a beautiful city, Krakow, so really recommend that. There's also the Phobies event at London Zoo. So we have a very successful trip that we run there, where you have an opportunity to obviously see the zoo, but also meet and have a session with the experts there in sort of why phobias occur and how to cure them. And also we run a trip to the Medical Research Council and have a variety of kind of visiting speakers, for example, books of local businesses throughout the year that you can come to. And all of this is really going to help you with your understanding of the course and your application in the future. Speaking of which, where psychology can take you. So what can psychology do in terms of your career? Well, it really is a very useful subject. BTEC Applied Psychology can help you towards a variety of careers. Here are a few of the ones that some of our students are aiming towards. Also, what I'd like to point out really is that BTEC Psychology can help you get into university, perhaps study a subject there, either psychology or a different subject, or indeed it can help you get onto an apprenticeship course, which are becoming so important now. If you want to know more, there are a few really good links here. First of all, I'd like to highlight this link at the top here. This is the British Psychological Society, bps.org.uk. Here you can find a wealth of information about psychology, how to become a psychologist, what they do, and so forth. The second link here is quite nice. It's the course website from Pearson, who run the BTEC Nationals. So you can find the specification there and other documentation. And quite a nice thing to do would be to actually have a look at the textbook we use. Obviously, we can't have a physical open evening, but instead of that, we can offer you a virtual textbook, which you can access via that link there. So if you want to take that down and have a look at that, that's quite a good starting point to get information about what it's like to study, of course. probably the most useful way of understanding our course is to listen to what the students have to say about it. So please do listen to them. They've recorded their own small videos and audio and also writing about the course. So yeah, that's about it. We hope to see you here in September. Thank you for listening.